Well, hello, good morning. Welcome to the Utah Safety Council's April Start with Safety. Today is April the 4th, 2023. Spring started like a week ago, but it still feels like winter to me, and I'm sure many of you. I wanted to kick off today's webinar with just heartfelt thank you for everybody that attended or sponsored or presented at this year's Utah Safety Conference. Our conference every year, it's the thing that we do to promote safety in the workplace and any place here in the state of Utah. In 2023, we were very excited to present the conference live and in person at the University of Utah Rice-Eccles Stadium. It's the first time we've been live and in person with this conference since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic back in 2020, which seems forever ago. But we hosted there at the stadium over 300 attendees, 40 exhibitors, and 6 keynote presentations and 20 breakout sessions. So we covered everything from fall protection to emergency response planning and reducing your EMOD rate. We also featured this year panel discussions from experts, local dignitaries that focus on specific topics such as workplace safety beyond compliance, a lot of mental health discussions in the workplace, and we also had a very cool Women in Safety event there after the first day of the conference. So it was very exciting. It was fun. We're looking forward to next year. If you missed it this year, we hope to have you attend next year. It'll be live and in person. I think we've outgrown the stadium, but don't worry, wherever we end up, it'll be just as cool and fun in 2024. But we're doing a quick turnover, and Brandy's going to talk more about the 7th annual Crazy Pants Golf Tournament. It'll be back at Topgolf on May the 5th, 2023, there in Midvale. This event is a good way to come out and network with other safety professionals and your colleagues in the industry. But it will also help benefit our Women in Safety program. So along with a very generous grant from the Labor Commission, this Crazy Pants Golf Tournament helps us scale and promote women in safety here in the state of Utah, and help grow and scale that movement. So very excited about that. Brandon give you all the details. Topgolf, we did it there last year. It's tons of fun. I think you'll like it more than a traditional green grass tournament. Don't want to misspeak on that. So come out, come see us. We're very excited to do that. And then spring is coming, right? And with the better temperatures and weather, we tend to get busier here at the Safety Council here in Salt Lake City. So now is a good time to book if you're a member company. Now is a good time to book your free OSHA 10 classes or your free First HC, PR, and AAD classes, as well as our new Occupational Safety Essentials class. Those fill up quick. So reach out to us here at the council, and we'll certainly get you booked and ready to go. We do all those classes once a month, in addition to all the other classes that you can see on our website at utahsafetycouncil.org. A lot of first aid classes, a lot of traffic classes, a lot of occupational classes, as well as the MSHA. If you work in a refinery, we're really scaling up our offerings in our computer lab. So a lot of cool, exciting things going on. We can do it here, and we can also deliver training there on site at your facilities as well. So excited to talk to you, but talk to us sooner than later, because as the temperatures warm up, things tend to get a little more crowded. So thanks for everything you guys do for safety here in the state of Utah. Excited for today's webinar. So we'll just move right along, and I'll turn it over to Brandon Stone, our Emergency Care Program Manager. Thanks, everybody.
Hi, everybody. I am Brandon. I manage emergency care program here at the Utah Safety Council. We are going to go into a little bit of a recap, update, a highlight on each of our programs. And once we've got that accomplished, we are going to move into our speaker for the day, Andrew McCormick from the State Fire Marshal's Office. He's going to talk to us about how to not burn down the world this summer as we get out and recreate. But first, let's move into our program update. The emergency care program has some training coming up. Our member benefit class happens to be today, so if you missed it, don't worry. We have another one coming up in May on the 24th. So if you have not taken advantage of your member benefit yet, please do so. It's a great opportunity to get somebody trained. If you want to bring the training into your own facility, have somebody with your team teach your team. We have a first aid CPR AED instructor course May 17th through the 19th. Great way to bring this training into your facility, affordable way to bring the training into your facility and get it in as many hands as possible. And I believe next up, we are going to hear from Nicole in membership. Oh, I lied. Sorry, one back. I forgot. I've got a lot of things that the emergency care program offers to help you in your training or just in your medical response needs. We have an AED program. So if you buy an AED through the Safety Council, we'll come out, we'll do an in-service training, and we'll track the expirations on your pads and batteries for you to let you know as the time to replace those comes. We have training materials that we rent. We have training materials that we sell. So if you have a need for emergency care training, reach out to me. I will be able to help you. And now it will be Nicole.
Hello, I'm Nicole, and I'm here to go over some membership benefits with you that are up and coming. First off, we do have our free streaming safety videos to all members. You recently should have received a new membership login. We are now switching over to just one company login so that the whole company can utilize those benefits. If you did not get that email, go ahead and reach out to us and we can get you that information so you can start utilizing that benefit. We do have our OSHA 10 and our first aid classes coming up. Like Brandon mentioned, the next one would be in May 23rd. Also keep in mind that you will get those 2 free passes for member appreciation events. And our safety media library would be, if you're not able to utilize those streaming safety videos, you can always come and check out a DVD at the office. And we even offer textbooks as well. And all of that information is on our website at utahsafetycouncil.org. And then to go into more depth of some of those benefits coming up, as you can see, we do have our first aid course. We have that April 4th as well as April 24th. OSHA General 10 Industry is coming up in mid-April, and then construction would be beginning of May. And you can find all of the information on those courses on our website at utahsafetycouncil.org, as well as see what other trainings are coming up in June. And the next one is our Occupational Safety Essentials class. This is a new course that we are offering here at Utah Safety Council. We've only been offering it for about a year. It is a great course if you're looking to start a safety program or for a seasoned safety professional that's looking just to update their program. Our next one is May 8th. If this is something that you're interested in, we do have our codes available, or you can reach out to one of our employees and they will get you set up for that. And I'll go ahead and get you turned over to Brandy, who will go over some events with you.
Hi, good to sort of virtually see everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning. I just wanted to give you a few more details about the golf tournament member networking event that we have coming up in May. So you can see here on the screen, obviously, like John mentioned, it's on May 5th. So spend Cinco de Mayo with us, having some fun. We've done the Crazy Pants Golf Tournament for 7 years now. And so it really is fun. There's not a lot of other tournaments that have Crazy Pants. So I think that you should all come and have a great afternoon with us. It does have a later start time, so that's great. You can head into the office and then kind of come over. So we'll be starting, it runs from about 10 to 1. So the good thing about having this event at Top Golf is you don't have to be a golfer. I'm not, and it was so much fun last year. And so we'd love to see you come out. And one of the really cool things that I'm excited about this year is it does benefit the Women in Safety program. So this is the first year that we've actually had that. And I think it'll be a great way to earn money, raise money for the Women in Safety program to be able to offer more trainings and do different things with everybody that's involved with that. So please mark your calendars. You can see that QR code. If you want, you can just scan your phone. It'll have all the registration information. And if your company is looking to sponsor or you're interested in that, we'd love that as well. And all of that sponsorship information is available on the same site. So you can register yourself as a single golfer, or at Topgolf, if you've ever been, they do organize everything by bay. So a full bay is 6 golfers, and we'd love to have you register for that as well. If you have that many people in your organization that would be interested in coming. So, like I said, just mark your calendars. We're excited for that. It's just a month away. So don't wait too long to go in and sign up. Now, the next event that we also have coming up is, it seems like August is a long ways away, but it will really come very fast. So August 11th is marked for our annual meeting and award ceremony. So this is another big event for us. It's a great way to come together and recognize safety accomplishments across the state of Utah, whether it's on an individual level or a company level. And so it's one of my most fun events to organize and to be a part of. And I just wanted to mention as well that not just to save the date, but all the award applications have gone out. So it's anywhere, anything from a school bus driver to an individual who's really done a lot for safety in your organizations, to company awards, to seatbelt awards. So there's all kinds of things that you can nominate your company or an individual at your company for. And so all of those award applications have already gone out to our member contacts that we have listed for your company, but they also are available on our website under the membership tab. And if you're looking for specific applications, or you just like me to send them to you, you can send a request, send an email to safety@utahsafetycouncil.org and just say that you're looking for those applications, and I can get those sent over. And then just a reminder, you can see down at the bottom that all of those applications, no matter what award it's for, are due in our office by the 30th. That will give us enough time to go through the selection process, as well as get the awards ready themselves and get ready for that event on the 11th. So the 2 dates to remember are the 11th of August for the actual award ceremony, but don't forget June 30th to have all those award applications turned back in. And if you have any questions, you can reach me at that same email address, safety@utahsafetycouncil.org. So thanks for that. And then next up, we are going to have Annabelle talk about our occupational and refinery and MSHA classes.
Okay, hi guys. A few quick things that we have about our department that's going on. Just in general, we got the basic orientation plus and UITC. If there's any snags where the dates aren't working, just let us know. Sometimes we can still set up. A lot of people recently have been asking about doing on-sites for them, so feel free to just touch base with us. Our contact information is right here with Hannah, or my extension 304, and we can set those up with a calendar invite rather quickly to get it customized for your needs if our pre-schedules aren't working. And then for those, I think some companies have been struggling a bit with figuring out whether or not their company, whether or not their person needs BOP or BOPR. Sometimes they're sending everyone at the same time. Just feel free to call in. We can look it up in our system to see what they need. If you send them at 6:30, that's going to be for the BOP class. If it's at 8:30, that's for the BOPR refresher in the computer lab. That's when they're usually taken in. But just feel free to touch base with us if you're trying to decipher between the two, because sometimes they're getting slipped into the wrong class, which is fine. We can still figure it out, but we just don't want to waste your guys' time and make sure that they're in the class that they need to be. So totally fine either way. Just reach out to us if you have any questions about that so we can assist you. Other than that though, we've got the MSHA classes. So for those, we've got MSHA 8 surface refresher and 24-hour surface new minor. Those are all web-based. We've added even more of those classes as of this month. We've been able to pack them in a bit more just to give you guys some options. So honestly, just go onto that main website and go onto our training calendar. It's just on the right-hand side of the website. And if you guys don't have an account, sometimes people try to register and they struggle a bit to get on. But honestly, you just probably sometimes if you're struggling to register, it's just because you don't have an account yet with all your information. So just make an account, and then once you get to that calendar, it should be pretty easy to pick out what you would like to register you or your employees for. And then we've got the underground refresher, as well as the 32-hour underground new miner. So just keep in mind, we've been able to grow those a bit. Sometimes they're people are asking about whether or not they can, if they've done the 24-hour new miner, if they can get the underground in less time. You can just touch base with us. A lot of times you just have to register for the underground, and you actually can get it done faster if you've already done the new miner. So and then we host, anytime we're hosting a 24-hour new miner class, those are on Saturdays that we host them at Rio Tinto Kennecott, if that's the location that you're going to. So try to sign up your people up for that early. Try to sign up for it before the class starts, because sometimes those spots, sometimes people need to jump onto a mine site, and those spots, at least for our tour, fill up quickly. But we can also offer that as an on-site. Okay, and then we've got the occupational department. So coming up this month, NFPA 70E, electrical safety is a great one. Our instructor, Rob Gardner, is going to even bring his electrician friend to help teach the class. It should be really fun. He's a very thorough instructor. It should be a great class. OSHA 10 construction, we're going to have a web-based and in-person options for you guys. So feel free to customize that based on your needs. Advanced safety certificate, for those that are looking into doing the advanced safety certificate, we've have some safety weeks that you might be able to crank that out rather quickly and just kind of streamline it. And then we partner with Mountain West to do some of these more niche trainings that they're going to be hosting here. You can still go onto our website and see that if you go on the calendar that you can still register. It'll just take you to their site and you'll register through them, but that'll still be at our location. Then we have DOT Reasonable Suspicion with Candy Schnackenberg. It's a really great class as well. And she comes in for those ones to do those. And then other than that, we've got the upcoming ones for the workplace scholarship program. So for that one, if you guys are looking into any of our trainings, and it's for the occupational and not for MSHA or refinery, sadly, but if you're looking at those occupational classes and you want some training, you're just unsure if your team can afford it, especially with something like the advanced safety certificate, where maybe your company is already investing in you to do training for safety. A really great tangible would be something like the advanced safety certificate. That's actually something that can go on your resume, and it can actually show that you've actually gotten a certification. If you're looking into things like that and you're just not sure about pricing, the Workplace Safety Scholarship Program, we can email you a flyer. We have paper flyers here, and even if you go onto our main website and just type in Workplace Scholarship, there's a PDF that's editable that you can email to us. Once you email that to us, we can process it immediately and get you for half off on any of those occupational classes while supplies last. If we get through with our grant, we'll see if there's any other funds to apply for another one, but just look into it for maybe anything this year, because just keep in mind when you fill it out to specify which class you are doing it for. Sometimes people will fill it out for all classes, but then we can't process it unless we know which class it's for. And then you reprocess the scholarship each time you need a class. But just email those to us, and we can just easily help you iron out anything if you're unsure if your company qualifies. Really, it's just if you have 250 employees or less, or maybe like the branch of your company that you're in department has 250 employees or less. Sometimes we can still make it work either way. Okay, and those are the main things that are going on with our department right now, and I will send you off to our next speaker, and that's Michael Stone, our Traffic Safety Program Manager, talking about some of defensive driving and other driving services in his department.
Hello, so Michael Stone is actually out of the office today, so I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the traffic that he has coming up. So some of you may have not known that Utah Safety Council actually started off as a traffic school. So keep that in mind when you're sending your people in for your OSHA and your MSHA training. We can also do defensive driving courses. We offer 3 different formats for defensive driving. Our first one would be in person. And as you can see, we do have in person available in Salt Lake, Logan, Layton, Lehigh, and Washington. Our in person is a 4-hour course, and it is instructor led. We also have Zoom available. This is for those that are not able to attend an in-person course, but still like that environment of having an instructor go through the program with them. The next one is online. We have an online 4-hour course. It is at your own pace. So sometimes you can get done with that quicker and sometimes it takes longer. It just really varies depending on the person. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you're looking to get a group of people through their defensive driving course, we do offer on-sites. And for a membership benefit, you do get 30% off on-sites. So keep that in mind when you're wanting to schedule a group of people. Next month, Michael Stone will be back into the office, but if you have any questions in the meantime, his contact information is right there. It's Michael M. Stone at utahsafetycouncil.org, and he can also be reached by phone. I'm going to go ahead and get you turned over now to Yvette, who will go over some computer lab with you.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Yvette. I am going to be working with you guys as far as the lab scheduling. It'll be between me and Nicole. So we do offer web-based training courses. These are just the most common ones that we do have for you guys, the basic orientation plus refreshers, Holly Frontier site specifics. We're seeing a lot of Cherry Point Refinery and Marathon. So if you guys do need scheduling for those, you guys can reach out to me or Nicole or anyone here at the office. Also, if you guys do have any questions for any courses that we might have, or if you need to find information on courses, we also can help you with that. So we are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. This week we are closed this Friday, but we can accommodate you for next week. We can get you guys in. So yeah, hope to see you guys soon and enjoy your weekend, everyone. I'm going to hand this over to Brandon, who will introduce our speaker for the day.
Thank you. So today we are pleased to have Andrew McCormick speaking with us from the Utah State Fire Marshal's Office. Andrew is the Public Education Coordinator for the Utah State Fire Marshal's Office. In his position, he supports the efforts of Utah's firefighters by providing data and research analysis on fire incidents around the state, curriculum and materials to be used in educational settings, and best practices in fire safety education. He coordinates the state's efforts in reducing youth fire setting and is the state representative of the National Fire Protection Association. Andrew has a master's of public administration, partially emphasized public education and safety. And today he's going to be talking to us about how not to burn down the world. Basically a discussion on fire safety as we get into the warmer months of the year and we get out and we're recreating. Some things to keep in mind to keep ourselves and everybody else safe and not burn down the world. And with that, I do want to remind you, if you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. I'm monitoring the chat, and afterwards I will get those questions to Andrew. With that, I turn it over to Andrew. Thank you.
Let's see if I can get all the tech part working, guys. Give me one short second. How does that look? Are you looking at my regular screen there?
Looks perfect.
Okay. Well, welcome, guys. I'm happy to talk about fire safety here with the Utah Safety Council. We've partnered here and there with you guys, so I'm happy to be here. I'm going to give you a little overview of our office, and then we'll talk about household fire safety. We'll move on to outdoor recreation fire safety, a little bit of fireworks safety in there. So I appreciate the title. Please don't burn down the world. I love when I get a Zoom invite for something like that. So thank you. Here's a little bit about our office. We kind of have 4 or 5 different main areas. If you're not familiar with us, we do plan review and building inspections. We have a team of 5 plan reviewers. We have an arson investigation section, 7 statewide arson investigators. They primarily assist with departments that have maybe their own arson department, but there are quite a few statewide smaller departments that might need some help and don't have that expertise. So we're spread out throughout the state and help with those. We also do licensing and testing for pretty much anything fire related, LPG, fireworks, fire safety systems, sprinklers, smoke detectors, extinguishers, pretty much anything that can start a fire or put out a fire, we regulate it to some degree or another. We have a small 4-person hazmat response and training team. They're primarily a training team that includes 3 drone pilots, and I'm one of them. We do search and rescue, as well as just flying over a fire, giving departments a good sense of what's going on down there. Our office does policy analysis for legislative review. We make recommendations for building and safety, what anything going on there, especially during the legislative session. And you are looking at the public education department. There's a 1-person show, and like Brandon said in my bio, primarily my role is to reach out to departments, make sure they have the most up-to-date information when they're going into their communities and talking about fire and life safety. It's a really fun role, and it's a really great way to be a part of the Utah community. I think we kind of covered my stuff. I also do a youth fire setting. If you have any questions about that, let me know. It's kind of an interesting side of things to see what trends there are with kids starting fires and what we can do to intervene. I'm the tech nerd for our office, but that just goes to show you what level of tech expertise some of these folks have, if I can barely get this running. And I've been in some sort of community education for 15 years, 5 or 6 years now with the fire marshal's office. So making a pretty happy career of talking about being safe and being engaged in our community. So just a quick overview of kind of what it looks like, fire safety. If that's showing up big enough on your screen, you could probably see down there in the red, the leading cause of the household residential building fires is obviously cooking, right? It's kind of hard to tell on this graph, but on the blue, there's actually 2 blue lines down there. There's an unintentional or careless fire, and there's an electrical malfunction fire. And they're almost line for line over the years, identical. It's kind of interesting. We can kind of see how that breaks down here. About 200,000 cooking fires a year. Some sort of heating fire, tipped over a space heater or something like that. Almost identical number-wise to careless and electrical malfunctions, which is interesting. Overall trends are interesting here. Down there in the red and the green, seeing a 30% increase in unintentional and careless fires. West Valley had one. I'm saying this is when I first put this presentation together, so a couple years old now, but house fire there in West Valley while an unattended candle. And if you're like me and you have teenagers in the house, there are quite a few scented candles around. Please be careful with those, 3 feet from all objects, and don't leave them unattended. So there's the numbers breakdown one more time. Down there in the overall trends, we are seeing just generally an increase. 30,000 fires, 500 deaths a year, 2,000 injuries, $1.6 billion loss in property damage. And we're seeing that increase. This was up to 2020, so take that with a grain of salt. With COVID, we basically saw a decrease in outbuildings and non-residential buildings, but we saw an increase in residential, which makes perfect sense given that we were all home, right? Where does Utah fall in that? Here we are at 2 deaths average per year in that same 10-year period. That has gone up in the last few years. We've had a couple of specific incidences where there was more than 1 casualty in 2022 and already in 2023. And so we're seeing Utah's below the average for fires and fire deaths, fire injuries, but we are trending upward. Part of that is our population growth. We track this information, as you can see there, through a national database called NFIRS, National Fire Department Registry and Incident Registry, and we get information from all of our, hopefully, departments. Not required, And so that's what that discrepancy there is, 190 versus 133. Kind of interesting. It's kind of a battle for us to get good information. So here's your quick tips. Here's your fire marshals quick tips. You guys are all safety minded, the fact that you're in this meeting, right? So these are kind of pro tips, a little higher up thinking. We've seen a lot of fires, just looking at my notes here, unattended flames, right? A candle left alone. Kitchens counts as that. I put kitchen parties on there because we had an incident a few months ago where people were probably having some sort of COVID get together, trying not to leave the house, and knocked over the candle and started the party material on fire and kept going from there. It's not just one candle lately. It seems to be multiple candles in houses being used. And down there kind of on its own, there is clutter. That is such a big one. The big household fires we're going to is almost always a secondary incident is based on so much clutter. And that makes a big factor with getting out, which is the last point there is have and practice your escape plan. This one's always hard, especially for families. I'm always saying, what I want you to do is practice this 4 times a year, different time of day, different conditions, winter, summer, but have your family exit the house as quickly as they can, turn on and make your smoke detector make its noise, and then practice this escape plan. Make sure there's no clutter blocking the exits, blocking the windows if you have to exit that way. And everything else here makes sense, right? We want an extinguisher on every floor. Working smoke detectors, of course, makes a huge difference. Those are kind of the pro tips, besides just being safe. Let's move on a little bit to outdoor recreation and fire safety. Had a hard time tracking down some data. Probably everybody's aware 2018 was a bad year. 2017, we had that Cedar City area fire. We were on a trajectory of upward acreage getting burnt. Our office doesn't specifically cover wildfire, but we do cover outdoor fire safety. And as that trend continued to go up, we've started putting out more information. The best partner for that would be the Forestry Fire Inland. And they have a ton of great information, as well as they can have Smokey come out to your event. But here's just some quick tips on making sure you're safe when you're out enjoying our beautiful Utah outdoor recreation possibilities. Always check for fire restrictions or bans. You can go to our website. You can link from there to Forestry Fire and State Lands. Ranger stations always post it. Or social media is now just a great place to check all that. Please use a fire pit when you do have an open flame outside. There are just too many risks for not using one. We're all going to do that, right? Oh, good. I was hoping that would play. Keep your fire small, manageable. I always tell this story of when I was in Scouts, doing the math 30 years ago. It seemed to be the goal of our Scout leaders to make the tallest bonfire and the most hazardous thing we could do. It seemed, we would pile those things up as high as we could, trying to get the flame 10 feet high if we could. We'll leave it there, that was not the greatest idea. And it's probably just luck that we didn't have more incidents than we do. But we all get the idea that fire is fun. That's why some of us in this field are in this job, but let's keep it under control. Make sure you put it completely out. Pouring water over the fire, stirring, stick around and check it more than once. That's the lesson my kids have taught me several times of, like, we're always in a rush to end our picnic up the canyon. But there's always plenty of nearby water in the river. Make sure you're using that. If you smoke, extinguish it. Please don't ever throw that out the window. There's lots of good reasons not to do that. Hopefully you all have a first aid kit. Maybe you have multiple ones, multiple locations, but have that ready. And for outdoor recreation, think about how you would leave and get out of there in the event of a wildfire. What roads are available, what map you're familiar with, etc. Don't just rely on a cell phone and Google Maps to do that. Know the area, and then have a hard copy of that map too. Obviously, we want you spending as much quality time outside as you can, but I also want to make sure we have a safe season this year. Okay, I feel like I'm going fast. Hopefully you guys have some questions for me. Fireworks safety is something that our office takes pretty seriously. There's a lot of graphics, a lot of information out there, and I struggle to find the best ones to show you. I like this one and I like the next one, so look this over while we talk it over, but I've got a couple others I want to point out. So what our office does for fireworks safety is, or fireworks, is we create the rules, usually working with the legislature on when the fireworks can be used. And you can find that information on our website. Generally doesn't change year to year. You have Chinese New Year, you have New Year's, and you have the 4th and the 24th, and a couple days on either side. It is up to your local jurisdiction to augment those or change those in any way, to tell you what areas you can't do that. We are not a punitive organization. We won't arrest you, but we will give this information out. So we get a lot of calls saying, hey, there's a guy in my neighborhood shooting off fireworks on July 1st. Can you come get them? And we just refer that to local PD. Generally, I'll say that our office isn't fond of fireworks. We have 27 total employees, and I'd say all of them have a horror story now at some point related to fireworks. When I first started, I asked the fire marshal, all my neighbors are shooting off fireworks a little early, and then they look at the logo on my truck and wonder what I'm going to do about it. And he said, oh yeah, I'm just never in town on the 4th of July. So they're not fans, especially I think seeing the injuries and burns that they see. So if you've been looking over the 2021 report here, it's pretty accurate for Utah as well. We partner with the University of Utah Burn Center, and maybe the Safety Council in some way does too. Especially pre-COVID, they were an awesome partner. They're a little more strict about their visits now, but they give out information on what you're looking at here on where most injuries take place. And it used to do tours, used to have youth come through and kind of see, like, you really don't want to play with fireworks and get burned. In another class I teach similar to this one, it's called Youth Fire Center Prevention. We see fires skyrocket in July. Something like 70% of youth fire setting incidences and injuries take place in the month of July. It's pretty obvious why. Fireworks are awesome, but also dangerous when used incorrectly. So in the incidences that I go help and support with, 1 out of 3 of the instances I go on is in July or related to, it's in August by the time I finally get to them. But something to keep in mind is that youth and fireworks just don't mix. I think it's interesting, that little pop out there, 64% of injuries from fireworks are men. That seems to sort of track with the youth fire setter stuff I see. So like 80% of youth fire setting is young boys. So there's that information. There's 2023's dates. So when you're doing your fireworks, make sure you're following the rules. We'll set those dates. Your local jurisdiction might change them or augment them a little bit. Make sure you're following those rules. That's always rule number 1 for safety, right? A quick note, I like this one. This is from the NFPA. And one thing worth noting here is just that heat of sparklers, of basically one of the hottest fireworks we deal with, and ironically the one we put closest to our faces. So the burn center sees dozens of sparkler related burns per season. Make sure you're being careful with those. I put in my notes there. Burns the hottest, holds the closest. Adult supervision is key. Sober adult supervision is key. Only use legal fireworks, purchase them from a reliable source. That is one thing our office does participate in, is making sure the stands you're buying them from are using legal product and qualified and certified to distribute them. Make sure you're buying from a source like that. Make sure you're following the instructions, use them outdoor, keep the area clean. Last year, I think the first 2 or 3 fires we had reported were the classic fireworks that put away the spent mortar and put it in a bucket, put it on the side of the house. It was still hot, went up the side of the siding and burnt down the side of their house. We also had one tip over and shoot into a carport. That was down here. That was in Utah County. I think it was wind related on that one. That's always a big one. Please don't use fireworks when the conditions aren't correct. Keep a bucket or a hose nearby, spray it down. Never point them at people or animals. Do one at a time. Never relight a dud. That is something that harks back to my childhood of trying to get everything out of fireworks that I possibly could. But please, please don't relight one and toss them out correctly. That is the bulk of my fire safety tips, guys. A couple of notes from the last couple of years. As I put this together, I was looking over a presentation I did for the governor's office on firework safety, and we saw some of our worst fires set in 2020. I'm sure that had something to do with our emotional and mental state during the pandemic, but we saw Hill Fire here in Lehigh. We saw another one in Saratoga Springs. Draper had a big one. We saw more firework related than most any other year. So with some legislative clampdowns on, you guys saw all the paper or all the articles in the paper about it, of who had jurisdiction and who was in charge, and with a lot of safety messaging from departments, from our end, from forestry, fire, and state lands. We did see a pretty hefty decrease. So we're hoping to keep that messaging going. You're going to start seeing a ramping up of that in the next month or so. And if this moisture ever goes away, we'll be in hopefully a safe place to enjoy our fireworks this year and our outdoor fire or outdoor recreation here in Utah. Happy to answer any questions. Happy to keep talking. This is my favorite thing to talk about, so I can go forever. I did have a video for you guys, but it's hard to get sound to work. It's a minute long. You can grab that link right now if you want to write it down. That is just a nice shareable message on the damage fireworks can do. It's got some dummies, blowing off their fingers, and it's just a well-made 1 minute video you might want to share. Thanks for having me. This was time just flew by. There's my contact info if you need anything else. All my data today came from the U.S. Fire Administration and the NFPA. We're looking for that updated 2022, 2023. And if you ever need any of that, please reach out. Oh, that's it. Black slide after that.
Thank you, Andrew. We really appreciate your message. It was a good message. I do have a couple questions. Somebody wants to get that video link in the chat. Could you put that back up on the screen so I could type it in there?
I think so. Are you still looking at my?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Can you see it now?
I can see your presentation, but I can't see that one slide.
Okay, let me grab it real quick. Gotta wait for that little thing to drop. 1 second.
And I did want to ask, you mentioned the escape plans in the home.
Yeah.
Where would somebody go to get more information on that, resources on that, how to implement that in their own home, what it should look like, and how to do it? Where could somebody turn for information?
So you can get that info from our website. I'll just grab that and throw it in the chat. That might be a little easier.
Okay, terrific. Thank you.
So you can grab that from our website, from firemarshal.utah.gov. You can also get it pretty easily from the NFPA puts out like 1-page sheets. A lot of times there's a map included. So it'll just be a grid and you can draw your house and you can say, you're going to go out the back door. You're going to go out the side door. We're going to meet by the neighbor's tree on the right side. we have some of those, and folks can always contact me and I can point you in the right direction.
Outstanding. Thank you for that. And the other
Yeah.
question I had, what if somebody has somebody that they're concerned about being a juvenile fire starter, somebody that's showing some signs that that might be a problem for them, where would they turn? Where are the resources? How can they get help?
And it depends on where you are. If you are, maybe you're a little more rural, probably the best thing to do is call me. So I'm the state representative for that, and I run that program. If you're in Sandy, Layton, one of these bigger communities, they have awesome programs already running. So you can just call your local fire department and say, trying to get a hold of the youth fire center prevention intervention specialist. I also have a list of those people, so you can give me a call too.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any other questions. We really do appreciate your time. We appreciate your message. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure
Happy
to have
be
you
here. Thanks, everybody. Did that link get in there? I thought I got it.
It is in there. Yes. Thank
Sweet.
you very
Okay.
much. Well, we really appreciate Andrew spending his time with us. Next month, for our Start with Safety, we'll be talking about the 100 Deadliest Days of Summer with Sergeant Lawrence Hopper of the Utah Highway Patrol. That'll be on May 1st at 10 a.m. So mark your calendar. Be there for that. Definitely want to stay safe on the roads during summer. It's a dangerous time of year. With that, we appreciate you coming and taking part in our webinar. Hope it was beneficial to you, and stay safe out there. Thank you, everybody.